Hello ladies. First of all, I had this lovely letter, beautiful letter from Sandra Anderson in Australia, and I won't read it all, but she sent me this amazing happy mail just because I sent her a sewing etui for her granddaughter. This is stunning in comparison. So I was just blown away when I opened it yesterday. I hadn't got the camera yesterday. I couldn't video at all yesterday, and I couldn't wait to open the package. So what I did was I opened it and took it to bed with me, and I was lost in it for quite a while. And you'll see from this fabric journal just why. She noticed that in one of my videos I mentioned that I like the Brontë sisters, Emily Brontë especially, because Wuthering Heights is one of my favourite books. So was I thrilled, absolutely thrilled when I opened this package, because the theme of the fabric book is the Brontë sisters. It came wrapped in this blue fabric, and this is what came in the parcel. Now there's such a lot here, that I'll have to condense it rather, but I think you'll get a rough idea of just how much work has gone into this. Little tag there, handmade by Sandra. Okay, so the front of the journal has the three Brontë sisters on the front, and she's put Brontë sisters there. There are some beaded trims, flowers, doilies, silk and lace there for the skirts of the dresses. Pardon me, which is her signature. She does this so beautifully. Now, in her letter, she says she wasn't very pleased with this, and she didn't know whether she liked it or not. Well, let me tell you, it is just my kind of thing. It's very different, very original, and this wraparound cover depicts some of the scenes from the Brontë sisters books. This one is from Wuthering Heights, Whatever Our Souls Are Made Of. His and mine are the same. So it closes with this tie. I think Sandra was worried about it because she's not done grungy before. You can't do a shabby chic pink pretty book when it comes to the Brontes, because they lived in a rather dreary place, dark and sombre, and I think she's depicted it extremely well. Let me just show you what she's done. Well, first of all, I'll take these to one side, because here we've got three books, three little descriptive books. One about Charlotte Brontë, Anne Brontë, and Emily. Each one is different, but each has lots of information about each author and the books that they wrote. And I spent such a long time going through each one. But as I say, I'll do a quickie for you. Oops, I've got this one upside down, which is typical of me. So the first one, Emily. She lived 1818 to 1848. Love the way she's decorated these. Emily only wrote one book, that was Wuthering Heights. There's Wuthering Heights. Picture of her. And here in this little pocket, you can see Kathy on the moors there. And in each of these, she's put a little book about the book that... This one is about the book that Emily wrote, Wuthering Heights, with little snippets from the book. Some wonderful quotes from the book. And some of my favourites as well. I could spend 20 minutes on each little book. That's how much its work has gone into it. So that's the first one about Emily. This one about Anne Brontë, 1820 to 1849. Love how she's done the covers of these. Now this one folds out. She did The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, and she wrote Agnes Grey as well. On this side we've got a little booklet. Some scrap papers in. Safety pin and dangle. A little pocket here. All done in scraps of fabric with some slow stitching on as well. And I think it really suits the period in time that these ladies lived. A little booklet again about Agnes Grey and her works. Anne Brontë and her works, I should say. And she puts little quotes in from her book, Agnes Grey. Just beautiful. So she's put an awful lot of work into each little booklet because of all the quotes that she's had to seek out and put in, which is difficult to do when you haven't read any of the Bronte's work. Sandra isn't familiar with the Brontë sisters. She is now, and I think to have accomplished something like this when you haven't read anything of the Brontes is wonderful. Here she's got a little book about the tenant of Wildfell Hall. I'm not going to open that one because I've probably overrun my time. Agnes Grey. Reading is my favourite occupation when I have leisure for it and books to read. And Agnes Grey is a book about a governess, which Anne was at one time in her life. A short life. Each of them had a short life, unfortunately. And here is the little book, all tied with this checked material, again, which you could have seen them dress in that sort of fabric. Here we are. Charlotte, who was born in 1816, died in 1855. I've been to Haworth, where they lived, a few times. Been around the parsonage where they lived, and it's just, I've just got this affinity with them, the sisters. here we've got Charlotte's work. We've got the Professor, a little booklet about that book. She wrote Villette, and again a little booklet and quotes from that. Jane Eyre, which probably is her most popular book, most well known. And Shirley, which she wrote in 1849. Love the way that she's put them in little pockets. Absolutely lovely. And here on the side we've got a pocket with a book about Charlotte Brontë herself. Some wonderful quotes by Charlotte. A little biography of her life, again a short life. She was the only sister to have married, and she wasn't married too long before she fell ill. And in the biographies you see of Charlotte, it says that she died of tuberculosis, and in another one she possibly died of hyperemesis, which is severe sickness in pregnancy. And again, I can identify with that because I don't think I stopped being sick for about 8 months. In fact, when I had my daughter, I weighed less than I do now. And how she survived, how we both survived, I don't know. Because I was like a skeleton. So I must have a strong constitution. And that's from the TV series depicting Charlotte. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. As any Brontë fan can imagine. It is just lovely. Now they were all, the 3 of those were tied together, but I've popped one in a pocket because in this pocket was a book of poems by all 3 sisters. And again, she's typed all these out. Various poems which they wrote under separate names. Cora Acton and Ellis Bell, they used those pseudonyms. Such a lot of work involved. And oddly enough, there is a poem called The Bluebell, which is my favourite flower. A little twist here. I've put paper in between just for now, as it was sticking a little bit. Before I look at that, I'll just read you this one by Anne Brontë, this little poem. I love the silent hour of night, for blissful dreams may then arise, revealing to my charmed sight what may not bless my waking eyes. And then a voice may meet my ear that death has silenced long ago, and hope and rapture may appear instead of solitude and woe. Cold in the grave for years has lain the form it was my bliss to see, and only dreams can bring again the darling of my heart to me. Now, Anne Brontë that was there talking about a curate who worked for her father and secretly fell in love with him, but he died of I think he'd had tuberculosis, and she carried that in her heart, and that poem I think she dedicated to him. Here I thought was an adorable gesture. Dear Mary, this is a piece of petticoat lace from my grandmother, Jessica Rimington. She was born in 1878, so I thought a little of it belonged in this keepsake. Love, Sandra. So this lace is 142 years old. Isn't that thoughtful? Such a thoughtful thing to do. Yes, Sandra, it's quite appropriate for this book. And some slow stitching on the back. In fact, she's put slow stitching here and there all the way through these little books. So that is a little book of poetry. And here, a fabric envelope. What she's made, and inside she's popped some ephemera which would have been appropriate to the day. A little booklet. I just think this is absolutely lovely. Sandra said, bless her heart, she's had this in her craft room for about, several months because she didn't think it was good enough to send. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I absolutely love Sandra's work. It's gorgeous, and I don't even know whether I was on camera showing you all that. I hope I was. I just think it's wonderful. What a journal. Thank you very much indeed, Sandra. I absolutely love it. That's my word for today. Absolutely. And thank you, ladies, for looking in. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now. Bye.